What's up, everybody? Whaling season is underway, ladies and gents. Whaling season is underway. Everything is in front of us here. We are on draft day, so if anything does move and shake, expect updates throughout the day if anything really major happens. None of that includes the Miami Heat not getting Jeremy Grant or Christian Wood. Like, you guys got to calm the F down. So, Riley's sleeping. He's falling asleep in his tapioca. We didn't get Jeremy Grant. What are we talking about here, dude? Yes, Jeremy Grant went for a first-round pick, and Christian Wood went for the pick right above the Miami Heat. I think we need to calm down, everybody. My man's out here going big game hunting. They are they are not out here looking for mahi-mahi. You know, delicious fish. Who wouldn't love to have it? It'd be a nice meal. But are we really talking orcas here with Christian Wood and Jeremy Grant, who played on two awful, awful teams to put up their career best numbers? Nice players. I get why people would be attracted to them. But to say the offseason is a bust, jeez Louise, we got to calm down here, people. We got to get ourselves in a better spot when it comes to the offseason, priorities, what is meant to be. Look, I want the Heat to shake some things up too. Don't get me wrong. I've said I don't think they should run it back completely the same. I think that's foolish. I think to think that everything's going to be the same as it was this year, and it's going to come back better, and just count on Kyle Lowry at his age to be better, to count on being able to re-sign PJ Tucker. I think a lot of that, if you feel like you're going to be in the same spot, you're counting a lot on Bam and Tyler to make big leaps, to be significantly better. Or just to kind of keep where you are. I shouldn't even really say significantly better. Significantly better, like you were a shot away from being in the NBA Finals. But being able to get back to where you were and maybe push it over the edge to where you can actually compete for the championship. Some interesting things that we have talked about that are not Jeremy Grant and Christian Wood. Kyrie Irving. This drama is going to be fun to watch. Now, Mark Stein, according to Mark Stein, the Miami Heat, this is what he writes in his Substack. The overwhelming expectation among rival teams is establishing the Lakers, Clippers, and Knicks as the potential Irving suitors earlier this week. That was aimed at trying to goad the Nets into offering Irving a more lucrative long-term deal. Yet, we should also file this one away for a potential down-the-road relevance. Miami is believed to have some level of interest in joining the chase for Irving should the Nets reach the point where they actively try to trade him, and would figure to be a more legitimate landing spot than the teams that initially mentioned, given Miami's various trade assets. While it certainly ranks as another strain of the imagination to try and picture Irving finding daily cover in Pat Riley's rigid South Beach operation, it's likewise true that the Heat never shied away from the starriest of stars, personalities painted as challenging. It doesn't hurt that Miami's face of the franchise, Jimmy Butler, was quoted as saying on ESPN's First Take, "I'd probably have to go with my favorite player who's not myself. That's Kyrie Irving. I love Kyrie Irving's game, man. He's a really good dude." We played that in the last video, those comments from Jimmy Butler, which is one of the reasons why I don't think people have to fear this whole not a fit for the culture thing. If he's a fit with Jimmy Butler, he's a fit with Jimmy Butler. The idea is, are you fit with Jimmy Butler? Are you fit with Bam Adebayo? Does that work? Boom. Now we can start having a conversation. The other thing with Riley, like, people always look at Pat Riley, which I know, toughest, nastiest, most disliked team in all the NBA. That's the mantra. But also, Pat Riley's a man of wisdom. He is life. Like, he goes and he has these deep talks with, a lot of the times people always say this, and a lot of the players that you talk to Pat Riley, they don't talk about basketball. They talk about life. He is a life conversator. You know, he is a guy who goes out there and says things and wants to get deep into your mind and relies and talks to these people like they are humans. Yeah, he can be cutthroat. Don't get me wrong. You could trade beloved players like Goran Dragic. You could trade beloved players like Tim Hardaway. But he's also a guy where everybody always says, like, yeah, he kind of keeps tabs on how you are in life, how things are going in the real world. The Heat, they handled all that stuff with Kyle Lowry this year, everything he was going through, let him go away from the team and get everything situated for himself. And I think it's kind of weird to say, like, oh, it would just never work here, would never fit down here. I don't agree with that. I don't think that is. I don't think that's true, and I don't think that is. I don't think that holds weight. I think that the Heat always will first go for talent, and I think the fringe guys, those are the guys they're always going to look to and say, hey, is this guy Heat culture? Does this guy fit in? Does this guy go with the mantra? But talent is always going to be something the Heat's interested in. Superstar talent is always going to be something the Heat are interested in, and especially if it feels like it has a friendship chemistry thing fit with Jimmy Butler. So I just find all of that conversation about, oh, he's not a fit down here, that'll never work, silly. Like the Nets, they let him run willy-nilly, him and Kevin Durant. Didn't seem like that was working. Maybe this is something that fits a little bit more together. Maybe he has more respect for a guy like Eric Spoelstra, who's also a lot like that. Gets on these guys on a life level. Very transparent with everybody. Maybe wouldn't be running secret practices like he was with Steve Nash. All those things that people worry about with Kyrie Irving, I do not think are things that would deter me from wanting to go after him. The only thing that does is, like, I do feel like there's got to be some cost benefit for the Miami Heat of taking on a guy who is a bit of a wild card. And can they find a trade package that involves getting Kyrie Irving without giving up Tyler Hero, where I don't think that's possible with Bradley Beal or with Donovan Mitchell. No way. I don't think that's possible. So this is definitely going to be an interesting thing to check out. The other interesting update that we have on this right now, Caleb Martin, he signed his qualifying offer, so he is now would be a restricted free agent that he can offer up to the mid-level for him if they choose to match whatever offers he were to get. And then PJ Tucker, his agent is doing yeoman's work, basically making him the hottest commodity in all of the NBA, saying that many title contending teams are looking to sign him into his 40s. The favorite, should he leave Miami, apparently seems to be the Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid, copycat, wants to go out there and play alongside him, which is just funny. I mean, Joel Embiid, you want to talk about a guy who's just like, oh, we need somebody who's a dog on this team. And so you go and you get PJ Tucker, dude. Like, that's what you're going to go do. Real original Joel Embiid. Real original old Daryl Morey. So you want to go get the Houston crew back together, put him with Joel Embiid. Too cute. Have seen some conflicting reports on this, though, that the Sixers aren't trying to move heaven and earth to get a guy who is pushing 40. It's tough to know, but there has definitely been a groundswell over the last couple of days that a lot of teams are lining up for him. A lot of teams are going to try and bring him in. And I said this in the first PJ Tucker video, that I think that it's not just the idea of losing PJ Tucker, it's what the other team gets with PJ Tucker, who, especially if it's a team that's in your conference, the way he knows these teams. I think Milwaukee definitely felt the loss of him this year. Did they feel the loss of that more than they felt the loss of Middleton? Probably not, but it was something. I don't think it's nothing. I think it's something. And for me, I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, he seems to really like it here. It seemed like a match made in heaven. I think that Andy Ellsberg is going to get in there with that wizard tax chart and show him why a move here wouldn't necessarily be worth what a move here would be. I think that they're going to try and work some of that magic, work some of that wonder. And maybe it's not enough for PJ Tucker. Maybe he just wants to get the full mid-level, $10 million, and if you don't, kick rocks. And maybe somebody will give it to him. But definitely seeing a ton of PJ Tucker reports all over the place about what people's interests are in him. From multiple teams are contending to the Nets and the Hawks are going to make a run at him to I think there was this was a quote where it says there's going to be a line of teams who are trying to sign him into the 40s. Chicago is interested in him. Everybody why wouldn't you want PJ Tucker, a guy who brings you that much and is just that much of a team guy, as Spo said, beloved by his teammates? Why wouldn't you want to add that for something that's not the max, not $15 million? Would seem silly not to go in that direction if you are in this situation. So we turn our attention to the draft. He'd have the 27th pick tonight. We'll react to whatever happens tonight as far as the pick is concerned, whether it's there, whether they trade it, whether there's going to be some kind of package. And, we'll keep our ear to the ground as far as what it will be with either them selecting a player, which they've been pretty successful at with the draft lately, or if that's going to get moved for somebody else. That's going to be that'll be a fascinating thing to watch, because it's going to be a late night that pans out. Is there going to be people that would want to pop in there and make things happen? Is there going to be it seems like there's going to be a great, Woj has already spoiled 3 of the picks, the top 3 picks, but he's also reporting there's going to be a crazy amount of trades tonight on draft night. So buckle up, Buttercup. We got ourselves a fun night ahead and it should be an interesting one as this offseason really looks like it's going to become for real in the matter of the next 24 hours.